Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Working Trader, where we look at the Euro USD and GBPUSD and come up with trade ideas for the day if there are any. So let's jump right into it. Let's look at Forex Factory. So today's a Monday. We do not have any high impact news, as well as tomorrow. And our first high impact news will be on Wednesday, where we'll have CPI. This will be at 12:30. UK time. So remember, since from yesterday, the daylight saving in the US has changed. So they are now 1 hour. So right now, in terms of the news, it would be, instead of 1:30, it will now be 12:30. So it would be 1 hour earlier. Okay. So high impact news will be at 12:30, and then so that's for Wednesday. So for today and tomorrow, we do not have any news. So let's just look at the charts and see what we can expect to see happen and what has happened or what happened last week on Friday. All right. So this is what we have. Looking at the Euro USD, we can see, so overall, okay, I've been talking about this for a long time, if you've been following me. So we've had bullish break of structure. Okay, after break of structure, we expect a pullback. Okay, so price has been pulling back, and then we swept these lows. Okay, and then we've had some strong reactions. Okay, after mitigating this extreme demand. Okay, on the Euro USD, this was the fresh unmitigated extreme demand. Okay, so after that was mitigated, price has been reacting strongly. However, we've had a deeper mitigation now, so far at the start of the Asia session. Okay, so of course we are having another reaction again out of the zone. Okay, so that's what we're seeing. And then on Friday we had a mitigation, and then price did close a bit bullish. Okay, however, there was no follow through. And then on the pound dollar, same thing. This is our range, internal range. This is our swing range. Price is bullish. However, currently on the daily, we are in the pullback phase. We have broken structure, and pretty much this is behaving like a sweep. Okay, because we have not yet closed below this low. So we pretty much just swept all these areas there, all those lows around that area, and then we've mitigated this demand area. Okay, and then we are reacting from it. Okay, so from on the pound, we still have this extreme. Okay, we still have this extreme that is unmitigated. So on the pound, there is still room for price to continue bearish if the pullback is continuing. Okay, all right. Then let's look at the 4 hour. So looking at the 4 hour on Euro USD, 4 hour on Euro USD, this is what we have. So we had a break of structure, and price has been pulling back, okay, until we had our internal break of structure. So now our 4 hour internal is bearish. Okay, our swing is bullish. So when we have these large ranges, we focus on the current range. Okay, we focus on the current range. So on the 4 hour, we are bearish. Okay, on the 4 hour, we are bearish. And then we do have these areas of we do have these lows. Okay, that could be attracting price. And then this is our extreme demand, which was mitigated here. Okay, but the anticipation is, if the bullish trend is to continue, on the 4-hour. This is our 4-hour swing, strong low. Okay, if the bullish trend is to continue, then this is the absolute low that must hold. Okay, so we should expect to see price break structure internally to the upside. Okay, and then possibly continue all the way until it takes up the week swing high. Okay, which is now also the strong internal high. Okay, because of this internal break of structure. Okay, but focusing on the current range, okay, we are bearish. Focusing on the current range, we are bearish. So what that means is, from a substructure perspective, that is the range that I'm looking at. Okay, this would be the range that I'm looking at. Okay, so we've had a sweep of this low. Okay, so expectation would be, after break of structure, we do expect to see some kind of pullback. So if price comes and closes above this area, okay, then we may start to look for longs, maybe towards this supply area right there. If this fails, then we may be looking for taking shorts at this extreme if we have confirmation. Okay, so in general, that's kind of the idea so far. So looking at the 15-minute, okay, looking at the 15-minute, okay, so looking at the 15-minute, this was my week from last week, Friday. This was the week swing low, and this was a strong, let's see. Okay, so this was a weak swing low, and up here is my strong swing high. Okay, so price internally it had shifted bearish. Okay, after we had this break of structure internally, so this became my strong internal weak high. My strong internal high, and then this was my weak internal low. And then eventually price broke structure. Okay, broke structure, and then this became a strong, let's see. Okay, so this one becomes the strong internal high. Okay, all right, let me do this properly. All right, so that was a break of structure, and then we pushed up. Okay, this was the highest we came, and then we broke structure right here, and then we pushed up again, respected this, and then we've broken structure again. So now this is my current range right there. Okay, so we were expecting to sell. Okay, we're expecting to sell on the euro dollar. It wasn't as clear. Okay, I didn't have a clear read on this, but on the pound it was a bit clearer for me, and I was expecting sales. Okay, of course we had NFP, which was a high impact news event, so we needed to be careful as well, or at least to be aware of the volatility that would be introduced in the market. So we have break of structure right there. So this is internal, my current internal range, and then this becomes, because we've had a sizable pullback, all right, that becomes my weak internal low. All right, so your weak internal. So what that means is now my swing range is moved from up there to down here to this high. Okay, to that high. Why? Because that is now the overall high that led to this break of structure. Okay, so from a swing perspective, this is my swing high, and currently this is my swing low, and then this is my internal high, which is also, and then this is my internal low. Okay, so right now we have alignment. Okay, right now we have alignment. Swing and internal, they're both bearish. Swing and internal, they're both bearish. So high probability would be to look for shorts. Okay, would be to look for shorts. So obviously we've had a strong decline in price, and then now price is pulling back up. Okay, so from an internal structure perspective, we had this pull down, push up, and then price is shifted bullish internally. Okay, so this is the internal range of this main internal range. Okay, so we could call this our sub-internal range. Okay, so now price is bullish on that range. So price could continue bullish maybe until it mitigates these extremes. Okay, or even sweep these highs, because we also have relatively equal highs up there. And then this is a Asia high as well. So that could be swept. Okay, however, going long, this would be counter swing, counter internal. Okay, so that is pretty much low probability trade. Okay, it can play out, but it is low probability. So what you would be waiting for is simply just to wait, okay, for price to come up to these areas. Okay, mitigate these areas, and then look for confirmation to go short. Okay, or wait for these areas to fail. Okay, for these areas to be swept, and then look for confirmation to go short. Okay, so this would be a higher probability trade. Why? Because you are pro swing and pro internal. Okay, so we are in full alignment of the swing and the internal trend on the 15-minute, as well as the pullback, okay, on the 4-hour and the daily. Okay, so that's what I'll be focusing on. Okay, that's what I'll be focusing on. So yeah, I think for the euro dollar, that's what I have. So we'll probably just wait for price to mitigate these areas up here. Let's see what else. Yeah, so all these highs have been swept. We had a reaction, and then we mitigated, and then we had a push down. Okay, a strong one as well. So okay, so for the euro USD, this is what we have. Okay, so we're looking for shorts anywhere around this area. Okay, anywhere around this area. This is towards the extreme. Okay, this is towards the extreme. So anywhere around this area should be high probability to look for shorts. Okay, so that's it for the euro USD. Let's look at the pound starting on the 4-hour. Okay. So this is what we have at the moment. So our swing range, okay, our swing range was from here. Okay, our swing range was from here, which seemed we had a strong bullish swing range, and then now we've broken to the opposite side. So that's now my strong 4-hour swing. Okay, so now we are bearish. Okay, now we are bearish. So we had a strong swing structure, and then we switched it bearish internally, and then finally we've broken structure right there. Okay, so now swing on the 4-hour is bearish. Okay, so this makes this low, current low, this is my swing week low as well. Okay, swing a week low. And then looking at internal price action. Okay, looking at internal price action. So internally, price did come down with a push up, a bit of a reaction, and then we continued lower. All right, so this is my internal range. Okay, that is my internal range. So internally, this is my strong high, internal, and then that is my weak low, internal. Okay, and then price is reacting, mitigated, reacting. Okay, and respecting the supply area, so we're still bearish. Okay, so looking at the 15-minute, okay, and see if we have a clearer and better read for intraday. This is what we have. Alright, so this was our last swing break of structure, and it's still being respected. And then price shifted bullish, and then bearish, and then bullish, and then now bearish again. Okay, so shifted bearish after sweep of these highs. Okay, we obviously, so this is the trade we were looking at. Okay, on Friday. So initially price mitigated this area, and this was a good trade. Okay, on lower time frames. But we were waiting for this one, and then this one was triggered during NFP. Okay, so it would have been a little bit risky. Okay, but as you can see, it mitigated, and we also had another good reaction. So you would have made, you know, at least 2 hour, 3 hour, you know, possibly all the way to 5 hour. Okay, depending on your stops on the lower time frames. Okay, and then afterwards, obviously price continued up and then took out this high, and then had a reaction, and then came up again, and then swept this new high, and then after that tanked all the way to then break structure. Okay, so we are still in full alignment. Okay, we're still in full alignment. Swing is bearish, internal is bearish. So shorts would be the way to go. So actually this is a stronger zone to look at, because it actually swept those highs. Okay, it actually swept those highs, so that just gives us extra confidence with the zone. Okay, that it is a strong zone. However, there is also a bit of doubt, because this is based on Asia high. Okay, this is Asia high at the extreme of the Asia high as well. So Asia high will usually be swept. Okay, so that's a negative. Okay, so it's a bit tricky. Okay, so in any case, obviously we'll be waiting for confirmation once price comes into the zone. Either wait for price to give a reaction, okay, and then we look for shorts, or for this to fail, and then once that fails, assuming that this is still a strong swing high and a strong internal high, so we then expect price to then continue bearish from there. Okay, and then look for shorts going down, probably targeting all the way to this week internal low, or all the way to this week swing low. Okay, so those are my trade ideas for today. So for both pound and the euro USD, high probability would be to look for shorts. Okay, Another thing to consider might be, okay, we had a fractal structure right there, so technically that could be this could be the last pullback, okay, before we break structure. So this would be our decisional, okay, and prices come in and mitigated that after taking out this liquidity of this fractal high. Okay, so we have this fractal high that has been taken out, and then we have this zone right there. Okay, so that could be another place where price could continue bearish from. Okay, so this has already been mitigated. Okay, that has already been mitigated, and remember, we are looking for shorts, so any excuse to go short would be high probability, okay, or will be better because we are going in line with the trend. And if I'm to look at the premium and discount, let's see. Okay, so this zone is just at the 0.5 or 50%, okay, of the range. However, we've not gone into premium per se. Okay, we have not gone into premium, so it might fail. Okay, it might fail, but as it stands, this is what we have. This is what we have. So price could mitigate, could from here onwards, continue going lower, take out this low, and continue to also take out the swing low. Okay, because we are in full alignment. Okay, so those are my trade ideas for today. Let's see if we have something similar on Euro USD. Well, on Euro USD, not really. Okay, so obviously this was the pullback. This was the break that was taken, and that was also taken. So yeah, on Euro USD, there's nothing. So on the pound, you could try and take this. Okay. Of course, this is before our key time windows, so it is also likely that this would also be swept. Okay, price would still come up, take out this, maybe continue all the way up here, and then continue to go down. All right, so other than that, those are my trade ideas for the day. We're looking for shorts, pretty much. So please, if you find value in this material, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know how you are using this in your own trading. And have a good day, and Working Trader out.